Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the 7th and final round of the ISDA GT World Challenge Spring Series. It all comes down to this: 60 minutes of one of the most grueling circuits in the UK, Brands Hatch, known famously for its absolutely brutal Turn 1 Paddock Hill bend, followed by Druids. There is some absolutely astounding drivers here, and they are going to need all of their skills this evening if they hope to survive 60 minutes in the wet. It is changeable weather, so it might not be completely wet the whole time, but this is going to be a big one. So just coming up towards the end of free practice now. So get yourselves stuck in the seat, get yourself a nice big old drink to sit here with, maybe some popcorn, because this is going to be a blockbuster event this evening. It's all on the line for this championship as well. It's still, at the moment in the pro standings, Dan Minton with 93 points is currently our leader. Dakuza set in second place with 75. Niall Bouillon with 69 in third. Matej Miksic in fourth place with 67, and rounding out the top 5 is Filip Borovic with 62 points. So it's all to play for in the top end of the championship in the pro class, and in the AM class there is a bit of a standout driver, Mr. Sean Buck with 122 points. Really quite a dominant force. He's had 3 first in classes, so that's really helped him with his points. Second place is Doyle with 81 points. So that is D Doyle. And then third place is Otto Winkler with 78 points. Neil Greening in fourth place with 59 points. And Anthony Wilson in fifth place with 55 points. So first place is pretty much set in the AM class, but second place in that class is still very much up for grabs. Good evening, Mally. Hello, I see you there in the chat. Please do let me know if everything sounds okay. Say on my own streaming this evening. Normally I have the amazing Arthur running all the cameras and all the graphics and bits and pieces, but it's just me this evening, so apologies if anything is not quite as smooth as normal. Oh, I'm just seeing Dakuza. He is unable to make it to this race as he is away on holiday. So Dakuza, who is second in class with 74 points in the 75 points in the pro standings, his position is very much under attack. So we've got Niall Bouillon, one of our pro drivers, could quite possibly take that position away from him. Let's see if we can get him now. Let's see if he's in the server. He is, but I believe he's just sat in the pits at the moment. Yes, he is sat in the pits at the moment. So, come on, Nick. Come on out. Let's see, who have we got? Let's see if our championship man is out as well. No, Dan Minton also sat in the pits. So, you know what? We'll go with our fourth place standing, Miksic. That beautiful Porsche. He's currently in the practice server, in pole position in the practice server. So yeah, doing really well out there in this very, very wet conditions. The Porsche not the strongest car here at Brands Hatch, but as you can see in the practice server, he is doing pretty well for himself. A 124.895 in very wet conditions. So do feel free to say hello in the chat. Let us know who you're cheering on. I say it's very much all to play for still in the pro category, although I think Dakuza was the main guy to take on Dan Minton, and that seems like that's not happening this evening due to the fact that he's not able to join us. So let's find someone else. Jamie Noble, out on track with him now. Currently running in second place in overall in the practice server, and Jamie Noble, let's see where he is in the championship. I made a little bit of scrolling for this one. Jamie Noble, he's only actually completed 1 race this season, so he's at an 18th place in the pro calendar, but he's pretty quick out there this evening, so he may not be an overall in the overall standings in any chance of picking up any silverware or bronzeware, but he's out there to make a point to show that he is no slouch he'll be pushing as hard as possible, no doubt. Oh, there we go. Mixich just gone up into second place. Sorry, no, Dan Minton put himself into first. That's what's happened there. So Dan Minton has put himself on pole. So fingers crossed this all goes well this evening. It's looking like it's going to be a bit of a wet one, but obviously the weather is changeable. It's 60 minutes of Brands Hatch, and if any of you are from the UK and you've been to Brands Hatch, or even from outside the UK and you've been to Brands Hatch, you will know that the weather can change at the flick of a coin. It is absolutely insane. You can go there and get sunburn and then spend the rest of the day freezing, as I did in my case, where I got sunburn in the first 20 minutes and then was sat in fog and mist for the rest of the day freezing. So be aware, the weather is very, very changeable. So if anyone at home is thinking to themselves, oh, the weather changed a bit quickly, there's no way that is realistic. Oh no, that is just what it's like at Brands Hatch. It is an absolute treasure trove of changing weather. So let's have a little look at Bellato, flying round currently in his Lexus. Let's get a bit of a better look at that car, shall we? Okay, for some reason my it is not wanting to select the other views, so it may be slightly slim on views. What is going on? Come on, give me camera set 2. There it is. That's a good shot. Beautiful car. So, see, this is turn 1, and although in game it does not look like there's that much of an elevation change, I can assure you, gentlemen, that it is the most insane drop into turn 1. It is absolutely bonkers, and then it's incredibly uphill up into turn 2 as well. It really is. It does catch you quite by surprise. So we're going to stick with Bellato now. So just coming through Surtees. Another corner that will catch a lot of drivers out this evening. You don't want to go too wide and end up on the grass on the exit. You want to try and keep it together. So long, straight down towards Hawthorne now. Again, going to see some moves here under braking, I would imagine, but you've got to be very brave. If you end up on the outside, it's a long way round and not a lot of runoff here at Brands Hatch. So down towards Westfield now. Flicks it in. Got this small flying corner of Dingledale, and then Sheens is coming up as well. So here's Sheens. Nicely done. Oh no, sorry, I think that was Dingledale, wasn't it? No, that wasn't. That was Sheen's. Apologies. So then Sterling's, and then it is a drag down the clearways towards the Clark curve. So throwing it in, and then rolling on the throttle without going too wide. You end up washing out onto the grass. It will really ruin your lap times. Brilliant effort, and so back round again. Let's have a little look. Jamie Noble put himself up in second place again. So I'll have a jump on board with him as he heads down towards Hawthorne. There we go, flinging it in. And the McLaren looks very planted here, looking very nice in the wet. Flings it in again. The thing to look out for as well, and it's hard to see from most sort of positions, but just look how little you can see going up through Sheens. Such a small amount of vision you have going through Sheens. Blind corner on those brakes. So if you're attacking someone and trying to go for a position, it's even harder to try and spot where you're going to go. And obviously if there's any incidents there, very hard corner to try and avoid incidents on that spot. Okay, so Noble into the pits. Let's have a look at who is out there. Let's have a look at Lee Bouillon, our currently leading AM driver here. Won last week in his class over, I believe it was. He actually won at Suzuka last 5 rounds in his class, so he'll be looking to replicate that. BMW, a nice solid platform here. Right, so here we go. up towards turn 1. As you can see, throws it in into the dip. The cars are compressed down here, getting extra grip. We're just over this crest, they come into the braking zone. Very easy to go deep here, but he keeps it all together. Up at Druids. Graham Hill Bend, another one where you really don't want to wash out too wide, otherwise you lose all your speed as you head down towards Surtees. So flinging his way along here now. Hard of the brakes. Swinging it into the left. How much exit curb is he going to use, if any? None. Just runs all the way out to the outside without touching the curbs. BMW can really stretch its legs at this point. So there we go, flying along now. Again, nip through Dingledale, up towards Sheens. Oh, someone's gone off at Sheens. So now down towards Stirling. Quick tap on the brakes, throws it in. And rolls on the throttle again, manages to keep that car absolutely planted to the floor. So obviously at the moment this is just the free practice before qualifying, but this will be everyone's last chance to get any kind of feel for what the car is going to be like before they go out. So again, throwing it in. Oh, a little bit wide there. And ran out onto the exit curb. We're going to have to be very careful, especially if it is wet. Getting on the power in these conditions is going to be very, very difficult over this curb. Who else have we got out there on a flyer? Car number 82. Ask and you shall receive. Dakuza, yeah, running ever so slightly behind on times today. Had to just push it back ever so slightly. A little bit of a chance to give me a chance to get everything up and running together, as well as giving our drivers a little bit extra time due to the conditions. Right, so who is out? Our first car out on the circuit is car number 28 of Jamie Noble. And here we go, 4 AM in-game time for qualifying here. It is absolutely dark as death out there. So we'll quickly jump on board with him while he's on his out lap to get an idea of just how dark it is for them. As you can see, out there on the circuit, it is incredibly dark. Oh, what a mistake immediately from car number 28. Jamie Noble puts it into the gravel. I mean, luckily it was his outlap, so it hasn't really lost him any time. But not what he would have wanted. Not the start to qualifying he would have wanted. So let's move over to Vancoli. There we go. Just coming through now. Yeah, the driver's briefing was ever so slightly delayed due... No, sorry, the qualifying was ever slightly delayed due to driver's briefing. So look, even here as you come back towards the grandstand, just how dark it is out there. Absolutely horrifically dark. So here we go. This is going to be our man on his first flying lap. Car number 55 of Vancoli. Throws it in. Let's have a little look. Let's see how Vancoli's been getting on in the actual championship. 12th in the championship at the moment. Best finish is a 5th place. Had a couple of do not starts, so that's probably going to be what's hurting his championship points, with 34 points overall. So he'll be hoping to maybe get inside the top 5 again this evening. It's totally doable for him. So on his first flyer, we'll stick with him for a little bit longer. Looking at just how wet the conditions are. Oh, and he nearly goes wide, and that's it. That lap is dirtied. And that is the end of his flyer. Just went onto the curb, and you can see just how treacherous it is in the wet. out here. Very easy, even in something as planted as the BMW, to just lose traction and dip a tyre into the gravel. So let's go over to car number 85, which I believe is our next flying man. Car number 85, which is Aidan Doyle, another one of the BMWs. So a little over 16 minutes left to qualifying. So this is going to be our first flying lap. This is the first time that we can look to see what sort of times we're going to be looking for over the space of qualifying. So here we go, throwing it in. Oh, what's the time? A 1:34. So we've seen some vastly quicker times than that overall. I think it was car number 24 is our next man, which is Jonjic. Here we go, what have he put in? A 1:33, so a slight improvement there. Borovic also putting in a nice time as well. Nice to see the Hondas back. As we said before, the Hondas out and about since the most recent update. Very nice to see. Miksic putting in a 1:33 too. Oh, and immediately bails out or makes a mistake on turn 1. I'm not sure, but that was the end of that. Dunster with a decent time up there in 5th at the moment. This might actually be quite a major part of qualifying. It's not actively raining at the moment. It is wet out there on the circuit, but it's not actively raining. So the first bit of qualifying could be very, very important for these guys. Hopefully they can set the times thereafter. But as it's going to start raining slightly more towards the end of the session. Actually, no, it's looking like it should be dry. It shouldn't be wet during qualifying. It should essentially stay as it is. Although we are seeing wipers, but it's showing as dry on the in-game weather report. So whether that's just a little bit of a wobble from the game or not, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see if we can jump on that dash cam. No, you could definitely still see rain falling there, so maybe just a little wobble from the in-game weather reporting, because it is most certainly still wet out there. It's just staying as it is at the moment. But say 4 AM, it's cold, it's 11 degrees out on track. These guys will have all of their brake ducts slammed shut, trying to maintain as much heat in those brakes. So what have we got here? So no improvement this time. Yeah, very good point. Dakusa saying it's the spray from close cars, so the wipers are still needed. And yeah, that's right. Look at that. Greening, one of our AM drivers, puts himself up on pole. And Greening's running 4th in class at the moment, so he's put himself in pole overall. So he's the first place. Next closest AM driver at the moment is Otto Winkler in 12th. So that is a massive time from Greening. Absolutely fantastic effort. We saw some much quicker times than this in the practice session though, so expect to see some improvements. It's not going to stay this way the whole time, I would imagine. But Jonic up 0.6 at the moment, so he is absolutely going for it. Keep an eye on his time, because his time is 0.8 up on his best time, but also so is Jamie Noble up on his time. Brooker with a 1:33. Obviously managing to pilot that Porsche around in the wet fantastically. I think, what are we going to see? I think we're going to see a pole here. Car number 24. Yes, there it is, into the 32s. And a great effort from him. Brooker up on his lap as well. Jamie Noble currently up on his best lap. So just coming towards the coming into the final sector now. Seeing if anyone else is up on a good one. Winkler making huge improvements as well. JR Sim Racing. No, I am afraid that Dakusa is not driving this evening. He is away on a trip and unable to attend with us. So his championship points will not be improving from where they are at the moment. Noble puts himself on pole with a 1:32.4, another massive improvement for these guys. Brooker 0.5 up. So where is Brooker? Okay, so right out in the sticks, as it were. Just going through Sterling's now. He's actually 0.9 up on his lap at the moment, so expect another huge improvement from him. Coming towards the end of his lap. What are we going to get here? Yes, huge improvement, 132.04. Oh, what a big slide at turn 1. That would have been that's not what he wanted. Right, who else is making big improvements? We had someone there and it's vanished. Wilfred Robson, currently down in 15th place. He's an AM driver, so currently 3rd in class. No, sorry, 4th on the grid at the moment, but 1.1 second up on his lap time. So another driver putting in some amazing, amazing times. Also got Mex putting in some good times. Got to keep an eye on everyone's times as they cross the line. Try not to miss too much action. Going to stick with Robson for the moment, though. Wilfred Robson in the logistical nightmare car. Coming up towards the line, he was doing really well. He's still 1.1 up, so was 16th. Where is he going to put himself? 10th place, massive improvement for him. Absolutely fantastic effort. Where is Mex? Mex is on a really good one as well. The thundering Mercedes hammering down towards Clark Curve. 0.8 up still, so that's a big improvement for him. So currently running in 13th place, and Mex is going to be up into 7th, gets himself inside the top 10. Good effort. Oh, Paul Venter, another driver on an absolute charge. AM driver, car number 42, 0.6 up on his time. Oh, an improvement again from... oh no, maybe that's just disappeared. That's a dirtied lap, actually, sadly, there from Jonic, which looked like it was going to be an improvement, but it was not. So here we go, Venter, currently in 16th as he crosses the line, up into 12th. Really good position for him there. 3rd in class at the moment. No, sorry, 2nd in class. Looking at it. Ooh, bails out immediately. Right. Who are we going to cut to here? Who's on a good one? Aidan Doyle, 0.6 up on his lap as he's just coming through Dingle Flicks it into Sheen's. Big curb cut there in the wet. The BMW being able to take those curbs nicely in the wet. Oh, actually, going to cut over to Mixix, who's just in front of him. Currently 0.8 up on his time. What are we going to see here? Currently 11th. And puts himself into 3rd. Massive improvement for him. He'll be very pleased with that. Aidan Doyle into 4th place as well. Who have we got here? Ah, Dunster, who we haven't had on the stream yet. Car number 4, one of the Porsches. He is out there and he's currently 0.8 up on his lap time. So he'll be looking to make improvements there. Got to be said, these wet conditions really do lead to some very, very varying times. Rather than the tiny little hundreds of seconds or thousands of second improvements, you can see some quite large improvements here in the wet per lap. So Dunster was in 20th, now up to 16th place. Really good effort by him. And oh, Jamie Noble into pole position, I believe, for the 131. Yeah, that's a 131.642. I believe that has just happened. I don't think I missed that. Borovec, who we haven't had much on with this evening. We haven't watched him too many times. He's 0.1, or was 0.1 up. Greening with a 0.5. Oh, no, sorry, not Greening. Mex with a 0.5 improvement. So we'll see what he can do. That would put him a fair, decent chunk up the grid. 0.7 now. He's following around that Lexus. They're doing a really good job. Thundering along behind it. Wipers still going furiously. Runs out a little bit wide, but keeps it together nicely. Powers towards the line. Was an 11th. Up up into third place. Massive improvement for him, massive improvement. Valentine Virches, also a driver to keep an eye on. Where are we looking at now? 0.6 up on his time in the screaming pink Audi. Loud in colour and an exhaust note. And I can tell you, after seeing these GT3 cars in real life about a month back, my ears are still ringing after seeing all the WRT Audis come flying past. Absolutely phenomenal cars. So now it comes down towards Clark Curve. What are we going to get here? What sort of times are we going to see from Virches? He was 0.8, he's now 0.7 up on his time, wasn't 13th. Up into 8th place, good position for him, up inside the top 10. Oh, big slide off at turn 1. So he was obviously happy with what he'd done and decided to bail on out of that one. Right, so let's have a little look and see anyone on a flyer, anyone out there doing big improvements. Paul Venter, 0.2 up at the moment, now coming through this final sector, just about to come through Sterling's. Just over 5.5 minutes left of qualifying. So very, very dark for these guys out on track. It is just about 4:15 in the morning. Still 12 degrees. And Paul Venter up into 14th place, second in AM class. Otto Winkler on an improvement here. Still very early in the lap and already 0.3 up. So interesting to see if he can maintain that. And you can see, even though everyone is out on track and trying to improve their times, not many people on flyers at the moment. Got Matej Miksic, who is on a flyer, 0.3 up. Dan Minton, actually, putting an improvement in as well, 0.3. So we'll try and keep a little eye on everyone's times as they come round. Sticking with Otto for a moment, though. Who I have lost. There he is. Yeah, because he's a full second up on his time. Massive improvement for Winkler here in the Bentley Team M Sport, which I always like to say looks like a Louis Vuitton bag. Great looking livery on this car. Absolutely fantastic looking livery. You've got a real soft spot for it. So here we go. Thunders towards the line, cuts it fine and runs it all the way out to the width. What can he do? Was 20th and he is now 14th place. Gets himself inside the top 15. Great effort by him. Oh, someone that's on a good lap as well is Van Coley. Igor Van Coley, currently running in 15th place. And he is, or he was... Oh, and a mistake has seen him drop back down, I'm afraid. So he was on a real flyer, but that has changed. Dan Minton is on a flyer though, 0.8 up on his time, and there was one of the McLarens diving out of his way there to make sure he doesn't cause any issues. So here we go, Dan Minton is in 13th place, is now up into 5th, gets himself inside the top 5. That is the kind of thing we'd expect. Really good effort by him, top 5. Right, anyone else on big improvements? Neil Greening, 0.2 up. Top, he's just in the top 10. He should be able to get a slight improvement, 0.2 up still. He's just got one more corner to go. Holds it together through Clark Curve. This should be an improvement for him. Up into 9th, fantastic effort. Oh, Virches, who was just lost his 9th place. He is up on his time as well by 0.2. Wilfred Robson again up on his lap times. Everyone pushing extra hard, trying to get those last few hundredths, thousandths of seconds. These tiny improvements that they are all desperate for. So Virches still up on his time. Greening also up on his time, who is in 9th place. So even if Virches gets the position now, wow, massive improvement, 0.6. Obviously nailed that final time, 0.7 up on his time. Virches up into 3rd place. Massive improvement for Virches. That is amazing. And with 2 minutes left of qualifying, if no one else is out on track, he has gained it. As notice Miksic in the pits. He's probably, I don't even know if he left the pit now, whether he'd get another lap in. Realistically, he'd only get one out lap to try and get the tyres up to temp. And here, with 12 degrees of circuit temp, that's going to be a real challenge. Who have we got here? Vermeulen. 0.3 up on his time. Currently in 11th place. Is he looking to knock Greening out of the top 10 for an all-pro top 10? Yes, he is. Vermeulen gets himself in there, but Greening himself is actually 0.1 up. Is it going to be enough to get himself back inside the top 10? Yes, it is. Just about does it. Vermeulen staying out, though. And suddenly our top drivers have gone back out and trying to do improvements. Aidan Doyle, Matish Mex and Dan Minton all up on their times with 1 minute 10 seconds left of qualifying. Going to stay with Vermeulen actually for a moment. We'll keep an eye on the top just to see if anything changes around. But stick with Vermeulen because if he can get this lap right, could again get himself up into 10th place. And he is 0.2 up on his lap. Just heading down towards Hawthorne now. Still a lot of lap left to improve, but also a lot of opportunities to make a mistake here. You can see that there's no longer as much spray, so the wipers aren't running. Damn, Minton, that is a massive improvement from you, sir. Going to cut to you. 0.4. So that puts him up into 3rd place. Massive improvement from him. Who else is about to come along the line? We're just going to keep an eye on the live timing a little bit here. It was Vermeulen, wasn't it? Ah, Vermeulen actually down on his time now. So not an improvement for him coming up. Mex puts himself up to 4th place. Great effort by him. Try to keep an eye on the times as they change, but qualifying is officially over. This is now everyone's in laps, so if you haven't crossed the line before the end of the timer, there is no point carrying on. A couple of guys out there going to be pushing all the way to the line. Car number 24 is one of them. And I think his times have plateaued, to be fair. Is an improvement? No, stays in 6th. Brooker still out there at the moment, though. On a flyer. Borovec is out there as well, but he is 0.1 down, so unless he can make a big improvement here at Clark's, which I don't think he's going to. So Borovec was 10th. No improvement from him, so we're going to stick with Brooker. Oh, car number 28 as well. Car number 28. You're coming across the line soon. Where are you hiding? Car number 28. Oh, it's Jamie Noble, who our actual pole sitter at the moment. No improvement from him, though. So here comes Brooker. He's 0.2 up. He's in 8th place currently. This should be an improvement for him. He should gain a position. Or maybe not. Did he let off the throttle? It looked like he was on a flyer, so maybe he dirtied his lap. So anyone else out there? No, that is it. That is the end of qualifying. So let's quickly cut over and have a look at the grid. Oh, and it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. So all that qualifying in the wet, all that information gained is now out the window. Everything they learnt in the wet, it still says damp on the circuit, so it's going to be a bit greasy to begin with. So it's going to be slicks. So it's going to be a very dicey first couple of laps, I'd say, just while the slicks get up to temperature. Seeing Mally in the YouTube chat cheering on the very changeable and obscure conditions, damp but sunny, which, yeah, kind of just about sums up most of the UK most of the time. It's always rained at some point. There's never all dryness. It never happens. Right, so let's have a quick run through the grid. So Jamie Noble puts himself on pole. Matej Miksic puts himself in 2nd. Dan Minton 3rd. Mex in 4th. Valentine Verchez in 5th. Jonjic, sorry, I do apologise. I believe it's actually Jonjic in 6th place. Aidan Doyle 7th. Andrew Booker 8th. Paul Venter in 9th place. Filip Borovic in 10th. Should also say that Paul Venter is 9th overall, and he is our leading AM driver. So then Neil Greening, 11th overall, 2nd in AM class. Then we have Vermeulen in 12th position. Otto Winkler, 13th overall, 3rd in AM class, so good effort by him. Dennis Bellato down in 14th place in the Lexus. Sean Buck in 15th place. Igor Van Coley, 16th place. Niall Bouillon in 17th. 18th is Anthony Wilson. Wilfred Robson in 19th. Tonzetic in 20th. Actually didn't cut to him during qualifying. I do apologise, Tonzetic. Always a good driver to have on the screen. And he is our man in one of the Audis, number 447. Zikovic in car number 21, and in the only Lamborghini out on the circuit, battling it out. David Dunster in 22nd, Lee Bouillon in 23rd, and hiding at the back of the grid is our lovely little banana-coloured Audi safety car. And fingers crossed we don't have to see it this evening, but there we go, looking over the rear wing, just get a little sneak peek at it. So, hello little man. Always there hiding at the back. And he'll be hiding in the pits, hoping for clear driving from everyone. So, just as the warm-up lap begins, just going to cut to a quick advert from our sponsor, SimRacing Pro, who have very, very kindly sponsored this season. So we're going to cut over to that now. Do stick with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Right, so here we are, guys. The cars are streaming their way through the opening lap. Jamie Noble, car number 28. Oh, I do believe his livery's missing. Apologies about that one. This should be a good one. The track is now already greasy, so it is drying out quickly. So definitely slicks is the ones to go for. Final runs to the line. It's going to be a good one. Car number 901, the little, tiny little car of ours in the pits already. No doubt we will see that at the end, getting to have at least one little go around the circuit. We always like to let them come out and have a little play right at the end of the race. So, Jamie Noble on pole at the moment. And Noble in the championship points. Let's have a little look where he is. Jamie Noble down in 18th place, so not really a big contender for the overall win. Mixich in 2nd place there. This is a big one because he's in 4th place with 67 points, and his closest rival Bouillon in 3rd is, where is Bouillon? I should be able to read this. Come on, brain. He's down in 17th place, so that's a massive improvement. So we should be able to take over a position there. Here we go. Cars stacking up side by side, but ready for the lights to go green. Track is still greasy. Track temp is 14 degrees, so that's already 2 degrees hotter than it has been in any of the practice sessions and qualifying. And this is still with the greasy track. You can see there's that dry line, which Noble should be starting on the dry line. But when he comes into the braking zone, unless he can get in front of Mixich off the line straight away, that dry line will go away from him towards the outside where Mixich is going to be on the brakes. So here we go, final run to the line. Here we go. Lights go green for 1 hour of Brands Hatch, and an amazing start by Noble. Gets himself out of the dry line. All looking good there. And amazing, already starting to tear away from the rest of the field. Really good effort by him, already putting a really good set of times in. Pulling away, looks like everyone made it through turn 1 nicely. And, oh, I just saw a little yellow flag appear at one point, but I think that has gone. That was car number 74, which is, car number 74 is, oh, that was Lee Bouillon, I believe, one of our AM drivers. So we'll just let the timing screen sort itself out. But there is no doubt whatsoever that car number 28, Jamie Noble, is flying away already from everyone else. Let's jump back a little bit into the grid. We've got some battles going on back here. Who was this? Aidan Doyle and Brooker going at it. Brooker already looking to make a move. Is he able to throw it up the inside here? No, he's not. Doyle doing a lovely bit of driving here. And a bit of a flash of his light, so I don't know whether he knew he was on stream or not, but we'll take it that way. We'll imagine he did. He knew he was on stream. Looking towards the back of the grid, actually. So we've got Lee Bouillon. Oh, that's a real shame because he did so well at Suzuka. Already carrying a little bit of damage as well. Oh, and Otto Winkler with a large amount of damage. And also Wilson. Did these two just get together? Quick replay here. What happened here? Because the move looked like it happened pretty easy. So just gone back. We're not going to go back right to the very beginning of the race. I do apologise. But I'm sure these two had a little bump. Or no, it might have just been sparks coming off the underside of the Bentley. But that BMW definitely seems like it is limping. Yes, it just moved out of the way. I thought there may have been a slight touch, but no touching between those guys. Very well done. So going to be a bit of a recovery drive. Zakovic putting in the fastest lap of the race already on lap 1. So little battle going on here for 4th place. This is Virtues versus Jonic. And we've seen previously how incredibly fast the Honda is on the straights. So let's see how they do. The Audi also, though, a really, really strong, dominant car. Car number 806 there. Hanging on to the back. Have we got another one going on? Oh, looks like Bellato's having a good little battle further back. Dennis Bellato in a good pack. Actually, yes, looking like he's trying to go past Vermeulen. Not able to there, though. Oh, who was that off in the front? That was, I think that must have been Brooker. Yeah, Brooker going off in front. I believe that was Brooker. But all of these cars stacked up now. Only one car. Oh, what another mistake there from Brooker. Yeah, he's hemorrhaging positions at this point. Oh, and a BMW off in the background as well. Nothing too major, just managing to hold on to places. But Brooker all the way down into 14th now as he comes across the line with car number 2 up his inside. And another position lost there. So obviously in these greasy conditions, the Porsche not feeling good. Well, I believe we have a new fastest lap being set. I'm going to presume that was Mixic that set that. Yes, it is. But someone on a real charge. Mex, what amazing drive from him already, up into 2nd place. But Mixic already pulled out 2 seconds in front. That is an absolutely diabolical gap. But is the Porsche able to hang on to that kind of gap all the way through? We're having a little look, and we'll have a look at the lap times as they come through. Mex's car looking nice and planted. So who have we got here? Vermeulen looks like he's having a nice little squabble still. No, actually, Bellato's made it past Vermeulen, hasn't he? So yeah, the move was made. We missed that one. And Bouillon looking like he's having a good little squabble. So it's coming through that possibly Brooker is on wets, which would explain why he's dropping back. So whether or not he didn't get his change done. Oh, who's this? Zakovic under attack now. Looking back over his rear wing, you can see the BMW absolutely all over him as they come towards turn 1. Can they make a move up the inside? No, not quite. And again up here at Druids, not able to make a move. God, really good sound coming off that Lamborghini. Yeah, it's one of those cars that doesn't get as much love as I think it should do. Bit of a sketchy car to drive, and I think a lot of people. Oh, car number 96. Yellow flags. Car number 96. Who are you? That's Wilson. So Wilson, oh, completely off the circuit and rejoining now. Seen him yellow flagged a few times. So obviously not going as he wants it to. I think he might actually be a lap down at this point, looking at it. His track position. Oh! Battle for second place is on. Mex versus Minton. The two M's. Kind of 886 versus 888. So that's not a mouthful whatsoever to try and get out. But Dan Minton very much on a charge. He is looking to stretch out his lead. I say Mixic down in 4th place. So unlikely that he'll be able to take anything away from Minton unless he makes some kind of mistake. Look at where Mex is in the championship, 10th place. He'll be looking to try and stay inside the top 3. That'd be a massive improvement. Best position so far has been a 6th place, but he makes a mistake there. Goes deep into Druids. Managing to hold it together there. Looks like he had a slightly better line than Dan, and Dan needs to get a move on as well because car number 24, that little Honda, is catching up with the back of him and in a straight line. The Hondas are incredibly quick, and there's a couple of decent straights here where the Hondas can stretch its legs. So sticking with this battle for now, down towards Hawthorne. Here we go, this is the battle for 2nd place. Dan Minton still nipping at the back of Mex. It just looks like Dan is slightly stronger here through Sector 2. Up towards Sheens. Again, what we're saying about this blind summit. You have to make sure you get it right, and if you end up in the grass, you lose a lot of time and really struggle to set up Sterling's. So down clearways now, down through this dip. Maybe braking as late as possible before throwing it into Clark's. A slightly better lap, I think, there. Yeah. There's nothing between them. These guys are lapping absolutely neck and neck on top of each other. Dan Minton into turn 2, up the inside this time. Mex gives him room. Is he going to be able to hang on to it down towards Surtees? Sorry, that Graham.
Lap 1, turns 2 and 3 under investigation. Over.
Okay, there we go. The voice of race control booming, and the move is done. Dan Minton gets it sorted. Takes the position away from Mex. Mex down to 3rd and is already under attack from the Honda. The Honda gets a really good run out of Surtees. Is he able to go all the way around the outside and outbrake him though? He's not overlapping. I'm not sure whether maybe the Honda's running a slightly higher aero than standard, because that didn't seem to be able to outdrag the Merc. And I really would have expected it to be on the go. But if he can maintain what he did this lap, next lap, Jonic is really, really looking like he might be up for a positional change. So let's have a little look further back. Who have we got here? We have got... Let's get someone on we haven't had on yet. Let's go for Sean Buck. Sean Buck in car number 2, chasing after Van Coley. Currently, he is 3rd in AM class, with Tom Zetich, number 447, behind him. But he's got a decent gap there, about 2 seconds. With about half a second forward to Van Coley in another BMW. So even if he doesn't think he can pass, Van Coley being a pro driver, might be just lapping ever so slightly quicker. A good chance to maybe just follow, hone his lines and try and make some slight improvements. Ooh, Zikovic down in 18th place. Looks like he's having a nice little battle. Yes, he is. Up into Druids, up the inside of Dunster. Gets the move done. Great little move by him. And has to be said that that little Lambo's looking nicely planted here. We can see Noble in... Oh, Noble, 21st place. Hang on, yeah, what happened here? Jamie Noble... Am I going crazy? He was on pole, I think. Was he? I'm losing my mind. I thought he was on pole, but I may be very, very wrong. Please, someone in the chat yell at me and tell me. But he is suddenly way down the order. Miksic absolutely flying away at this point. Oh, and actually about to catch up with Brooker, probably I would say this lap. As we said, Brooker out there on wets, and that's a real shame. That's really put a dampener on his day. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing any wet in the well, at least not in the next 30 minutes, and there is no way his tyres can last that long, so he will probably have to pit as soon as possible. Oh, car number 22 of Borovac, just seen that one go off. Let's go back, see if we can catch that replay. So where are we now? We're just coming along the Bram Straight up towards Paddock. So what happens here at Paddock? Flings the car in, a lot of exit curb. Oh, and a slight over rotation. Oh, and that's a big hit. That's a really heavy hit on the tyres. That's going to be a lot of damage. Oh, nearly one of the, I think it was number 447, nearly over-rotating, going into him as well. Oh, car number 55 off as well. What has gone on there? Let's try and quickly find car number 55. That was Van Coley. So what happened to Van Coley? Jumping on a replay with him now. So this is through Surtees on the exit. Oh, did the exit curb get him? I did say got to be really careful with the grass. Oh, and there's a massive collision as well. That is not ideal. He was trying to recover and the car flung him across the circuit. And I think that was one of the other BMWs. I think that was an AM class driver who has managed to keep going. Oh, that's not what we wanted. That is not what we wanted at all. Ooh, kind of a 447. You, Tonzetic. Ah, yeah, it was Robson, wasn't it? It was Robson in that BMW, I think, that got caught up in that incident. Or was it Buck? Hang on, let's go to Sean Buck. It was Sean Buck. Yeah, they got very, very similar liveries. Van Coley into the pits as well. Buck will be pretty upset about that, and I almost certainly race control will be having a look into that, because that's that was a little bit messy. It's a very easy spot to go off, but realistically probably should have grabbed on those brakes and held on rather than drifting back across the circuit. Oh, Noble. What have I just seen here? Noble starting on the wrong tyres. So Noble, who we saw, obviously, right near the very... we saw him on pole, I believe. Well, right at the front. Now having a recovery drive. Started on wets. Huge mistake from him. Huge mistake. And that is one of those things. It does happen. Very easy to do. Lewis Noble in the chat with a sad face. Yeah. But he's got a bit of time to do a recovery drive. Oh, penalty's starting to roll in now. So I imagine we'll hear the voice of race control pretty soon. Bouillon with a penalty. Wilson with a penalty. Zakovic has picked up a drive-through. I imagine that's going to be for track limits. But I'm sure we will hear in just a moment. Ooh, 13th place Robson having a good fight. Oh, there we go. Up into Druids. Not able to make a move, I don't think. So this is him and
this
Tons.
Race control. Lap 1, turns 2 and 3. Car number 74 gets a 5-second for causing a collision. Car number 68 gets a drive-through for causing a collision. Car number 96 gets a 5-second time penalty for dangerous rejoin. Over.
Oh, so there we go. I thought the drive-through was going to be because of track limits, which is a automatic game-produced penalty, but no, it was for a collision, and that is a massive penalty. Obviously we missed that while we were keeping an eye on the lead battle. That's a massive penalty, absolutely humongous. So maybe we might have a little chat with race control at the end, and we might be able to find out why that is such a large penalty. I think that's probably the biggest penalty I've seen this season. Tonzetic looking like he's just starting to maybe get away. Not sure. Coming through Sterling's now. And it looks like the BMW had a slightly better run, so we might see a move down into the Clark curve. No, it just looks like the Audi's got the legs there. Any chance that Robson could get a position back? I don't think it's going to happen this time. No, the logistical nightmare car staying in 13th place for now. So let's jump on with Paul Venter, our leading AM driver, who is being hunted down by Vermeulen and Bouillon in 2 BMWs as well. Uzakovic into the pits, presumably for his drive-through. It's quite a long pit stop here at Brands Hatch, and it's quite a short circuit in my opinion, so it's, you know, with a 1 minute 30 lap time ish. Oh, actually, to be fair, everyone's into the high 27s now. Everyone putting in decent times, so that's a real kicker. Noble though, down in 17th place, putting in the fastest lap. So big recovery drive, and he'll be devastated because he's obviously got the pace in the dry when he's got dry tyres. Oh, Bellato is also, looks like he's being caught by Venter here. That gap definitely coming down. But Venter hammering his way along. As they fly past the pit wall up towards turn 1. Absolutely hammering along. Here we go, under braking into turn 1. Any moves? Nothing going on there. Vermeulen and Bouillon being very, very respectful as well. I want to say Greening's catching up with the back of them though, so if these two are being respectful and try not to push too hard, they may need to get a move on soon. Oh, Miksic under a massive attack from Dan Minton now. 0.4 of a second between them. So that lead has absolutely diminished. Looking back over the rear wing of Miksic now, and Dan Minton winding himself up, reeling in the back of that Porsche. He'll be staring down that Boxer engine, desperate to catch up and get past. The Bentley obviously looking to try and get a win on its home turf in England. Be a great way to finish out the season as well. Dan Minton's been a dominant force this season, 93 points. And here we go, possibly going to go around the outside into turn 1. We go to the helicam to get a good view under braking. No, Miksic better on the brakes, but was he a little bit late? Has that made an issue? No, it hasn't. The track up to green now, and a move up the inside into Druids. He gets the Bentley there. Oh, maybe a slight touch, but nothing too bad. Has he got the move done completely though? No, he hasn't. Has to give it back for Graham Hilburn. So he got the move done, but it was immediately taken back. And Dan Minton will now know where the weaknesses are. He'll know he can sneak through, but Miksic will also know where he can defend. Now he knows where the move is going to come. Oh, but he left the door open there. And again, massive dive up the inside there by Dan Minton. Really well done, managing to maintain the pace even on the faster line. These two slowing themselves down a hell of a lot. This is car number 2 catching up with the back of them, who is currently running in 19th place. So that was Buck, who got caught up in that incident earlier on that we saw. So he's actually a lap down. But fair play, hanging on with these with the guys up front, and he is a AM driver, and these are the leading class drivers. But Dan Minton's got the job done, flown past. We'll just nip back and watch that. Oh, I pressed the wrong one. Sorry, I went for 30 and I pressed 10 instead. So Dan Minton confirmed up in pole position now. Miksic in second. Can he take the fight back? We've seen it a dozen times, thousands of times probably at this point, where the Bentleys just take a little bit longer to switch their tyres on, but once they're up and running, they are a really, really strong car still. You know, they're an older car in the game now, older car in just in general. I mean, not even supported by Bentley anymore, I don't think. So anyone that's running them, oh, 15-second penalty come through for car 9, Vermeulen. We're going to hear the voice of race control very soon, I think. Venter, 8th place. Let's jump on with Venter. He's having a great drive out there this evening. Still in 8th place. Who is that?
This is race control. Car number 39 gets a 15-second time penalty for forcing another driver off track and causing a collision. Lap 2.
Right, so that was a 15-second penalty. Again, they can add them onto their pits, so it's obviously not great getting a penalty, but it's better to get a time penalty in the first half of the race because at least you can just add it to your pit time rather than adding it at the end, so at least you know realistically where you're actually going to finish across the line. Obviously, if you take a penalty to the end of the race, then you have to try and do a bit of mental maths as you're racing to work out whether you're actually going to hang on to your positions or not. Depending on how spread out you are, obviously that can make quite the difference. Looks like we've got a little battle brewing up back here between these three. This is the battle for 13th place. Oh, Dunster makes a mistake, rejoins just about, but car number 96 dives up the inside. Oh, hang on, was that actually... That is car number 96, which is Wilson, who's recovering from earlier, but he's also got a 5-second penalty, but... So there we go, Wilson unlapping himself there, so no positional loss there for Dunster, but that was very, very close, and Noble actually on a charge. Are we going to see a dive down here into turn 1? This is for position, but we've seen Noble absolutely hammering along, and actually Dunster goes wide, lets Noble through, obviously thinks to himself, there is no point slowing myself down with this pro driver. Noble on an absolute charge at the moment. In fact, let's jump on with Janie Noble. Let's have a little onboard. So, hammering his way along, and let's just see how quickly he makes work of the AM drivers in front of him. So he's got Wilson, who is a lap down at the moment, and I imagine this is probably going to be reasonably quick work he'll make. You just see how much later on the brakes he is, how much more confident he is rolling on the throttle. This is the difference between Pro and AM. Again, it's going to be difficult to make a move here through Dingledale. Thought about it, chose not to. Now goes up the inside through Sheens. Gets it done, flying along now. Big spit of the flames as he cuts back now, going through Sterling's. And his next man is going to be Otto Winkler. Let's see how quickly he can reel that car in. Great recovery drive going on from him now. Again, not great for him, but brilliant for us to watch. Should be seeing him making lots and lots of passes all the way throughout the race, and we'll see how his pit strategy works out as well. But this is obviously a car that's had to pit and is somehow up into 15th place. Really showing some absolutely astounding pace. A man who is showing some really good pace, to be fair, is car number 888 of Dan Minton, our current championship leader. Absolutely hammering away. Oh, number 9, Bullion. Sorry, position 9, Bullion. There's been a... Oh, no. So down into 9th place. Oh, and looks like Venter on the attack on the back of him. So Venter, our leading AM driver, currently running in 10th place overall and first in class, looking to push forward. I think Jamie Noble's making another move. I think Jamie Noble is literally making another move on Dunster. I think... Has he already done it? He's already done it. He's already passed car number 82. Thundered past him. Again, I doubt the AM drivers are going to be trying to battle with him for position. Apologies to anyone that just picked up the weird sound error that comes through every once in a while. It seems to be more prevalent at the moment. So apologies if there was a great big bang and it went through. It makes me jump every time it happens as well. So I always think everything's suddenly broken on my PC, but luckily it hasn't. We're all still here. Where is Venter? Let's go back to Venter again, because he was having a nice little squabble. Oh, actually, what's happened to him? He's dropped back quite a bit. Oh, it looks like Bullion pushing forward towards Vermeulen. And he's going to gain the position anyway due to that time penalty of 15 seconds. So I have to keep a little eye on it. Oh, Robson within half a second of Tom Zetic again. So these two holding on to each other quite nicely. They have got Jamie Noble coming up behind them as well. There's a bit of a gap back to them. About, how long is that? About 5 seconds, give or take. Oh, track is up too fast fast now. So, oh, car number 42 coming into the pits. Car number 42, that is car number 42. Venter, Paul Venter coming into the pit. So an early pit from him. With about just over 25 minutes of the race completed, that is quite an early stop, has to be said. Obviously deciding to jump in now, trying to get that tactical advantage. See if it will work for him. This little squabble still going on at the moment. Robson versus Tonzetic. So this is now actually a battle for second in class. And Robson definitely trying to make some moves. I think we've got Bullion on the attack as well. Actually, looks like Robson made a few mistakes, has dropped back slightly. So we're going to jump aboard with Lee Bullion. Or was that a timing? Ah, that was timing error due to the crossing of the lines. Oh no, wait, I'm on the wrong Bullion. I am on board with Lee Bullion, and we want Neil. No, what? Niall Bullion. There he is. Oh, good run there by Greening as well, sticking to the back of him pretty closely. It's car number 58 under attack from car number 25. No, car number 25 driving into the pits as well, getting his pit stop done. So people starting to pit now. Quite a lot. Virches in, Bellato in, Greening in, Zakovic in, Vancoli in. Lots of people deciding to come in and getting their pit stops done. These guys sticking it out for a little bit longer. Looks like they're going to try and do another lap at least. But the gap opened up from Dan Minton back to Miksic now. Over 5.5 seconds between them. Going to be interesting to see how the pit stops work in people's favour. Currently it's showing dry with cloud the whole way, but it is still only fast here. It's not optimum yet. So lap time should improve. Oh, car number 42. Looked like he went evasive there. Car number 42. And it was Paul Venter. So I wonder if maybe he was just moving out the way. Jamie Noble up to 9th place now, obviously due to the pits, and he's just passing someone else. No, that was was that Robson? I think that was Robson he just passed. Yes, it was. So up into 8th place now, still pushing forward really, really hard. So I wonder if he's going to go for a late pit, possibly, as he's been battling his way through traffic. I mean, we're going to see him lose a lot of positions when he does pit, but he was still really, really pushing forward.
Car number 55 gets a 15-second time penalty for causing a collision in lap 8, turn 4. Car number 2 gets a 5-second time penalty for failing to slow down under yellow flag conditions. Over.
Okay, so penalties rolling in there. Okay, so that was Vancoli and Buck when they got together earlier. Yeah, as we said, it's not just a case of if you are the crashing car trying to avoid an incident, but also if you are in a car going into a yellow flag zone, and these cars, it comes up on the dash, it gets told you verbally inside the car as well. It's like, says like yellow flag. Some people are running aftermarket software as well that give you even more information. They can really let you know what sector the issue's in, who it is that's gone off. It's your job as well to try and avoid that incident. So yeah, that's why car number 2's picked up a 5-second penalty, because they did not slow down with a car that was crashing in front of them. But I think it's a good thing, because a lot of people ignore the yellow flags because the game has no way of really doing it natively in-game. It's very difficult for it to actually sort of do anything about that in-game. So to see our guys in the booth sorting it out is a big bonus. It's a massive bonus for us, what we're able to do. But Jamie Noble up into 8th place, staying out longer as well. So our top 11 drivers, oh sorry, have yet to pit, but Miksic 8th place now. Miksic leaving the pits as we speak. Robson as well, one of our 2nd place AM drivers, also pitting. I think he's just coming into his box now. So let's jump back on board with Miksic, who had a great start to the race before Dan Minton really got himself going. flying along. And these guys have only got 4.5 minutes left to make their pit stops. There is a pit window here, which is why these guys that had the wrong tyres on at the beginning or have had to go into the pits for damage early in the race, that is why they still have not completed their mandatory stops, because it was outside of the pit window. So it'll be a case for these guys that will have to do a bit of a recovery drive. As we are seeing from Noble, currently running in 7th place. Again, he hasn't pitted yet, but still, he's made a big improvement. Oh, car number 68 is off. Who is that? Car number 68. That was Sokovic. So what happened there? Jump on the replay and we'll have a little look, see what happened. Trying to work out what part of the circuit he's on. Oh, was that it? No, he just watched deep there, but what was that yellow flag for then? Oh, bit too wide. Dipped a tyre onto the grass on the entrance of the corner and immediately rotated the car and sent him flying. Very easy to do and very, very hard to recover from. Rejoins nice and safely though, and I think that was up at in Sheens, I think, is where that went wrong. So currently running in 19th place, and he'll be probably a little bit disappointed with that. So Dan Minton, yet to pit, is our leading pro driver, and Tonzetic has yet to pit as well and is our leading AM driver. So I wonder when these guys are going to pit. Just working out my car number 888 is car number 39 comes in. That's Vermeulen into the pits. Jonic into the pits as well. Just take him number 447 for a little bit. He's been a bit further down in the grid, so nice to get some of the slightly further down the grid cars up on the stream. So is the 447 going to pit this lap? I think so. Yes, in he dives. So currently, Doyle picks up a stop, go 30. So A Doyle. There's quite a few Doyles. There's multiple last names here this time round this season. It does make it quite difficult when you're usually just going off of last names. So Tonzetic into the pits. Greening is our next man. So let's jump on with Neil Greening. Wicked looking livery on that car. Really bright. Pretty damn ugly, and that's what I love about it. So looks like Tonzetic is going to lose pole position. He's still up in the air. Coming on through. And where is Robson? Robson quite a long way back though, so I think Tonzetic might hang on to second place in class. Yeah, he's on his wheels. It's going to be a case of how quickly can Tonzetic get out as the BMW thunders onto the pit straight. And he's out the pit. Yeah, so Tonzetic, 11th place overall, 2nd place in class. And Otto Winkler in 13th place. So all nice and closely squidged together, these guys. And a drive-through penalty for Dunster. Dunster gets a drive-through. I don't know if we saw an incident involving him earlier. I'm sure we're about to hear the voice of race control, possibly.
This is race control. Lap 10, turn 4, collision between cars 4 and 82. Car number 4 gets drive-through for causing a collision. Over.
Some big old penalties being dealt out this evening. Race control having none of it. Letting everyone know that they've got to keep it clean. Jamie Noble into the pits. So Jamie Noble is there. Where is he going to come out? He's losing positions by the second. Neil Greening in 9th, about to come past. Not sure about Vermeulen. Oh, Noble on the floor. So Vermeulen gets a position. Tonzetic, though, not going to gain a position. Oh no, wait, did Vermeulen get the spot? Yes, he did. Vermeulen did get the position. Well, it's showing on the actual screen that he is currently still behind, but he's definitely not. I'm definitely watching Vermeulen with Noble behind him. Yes, 100%. So now, Noble's already got himself up inside the top 10. How far can he go? How far can he take this race? What can Noble do? As we said before, his best finish so far has been a 4th place. A lot of races he's been unable to attend, so that's why he's so low in the championship. But his pace is absolutely outstanding. Bellato within half a second of Mex, I believe. That gap has now opened up to a full second. So going the wrong way. Mex in 5th and looking to try and maintain that position, keeping himself inside the top 5. Everyone a little spread out at this point. Let's have a little run through the grid just while we wait for the battles to hot up. Although, oh, hang on, Virches and Mixic within. Here we go, battle for pole on again. Mixic down the inside. What an absolutely amazing move. Where has this pace from Mixic come from? Monsters past Dan Minton. Great effort by him. Goodness gracious, already flying by. And actually Virches looks like he's on the tack as well. So Dan Minton, who was super dominant early on, is now starting to back away slightly. Oh, another mistake there from Zukovic. Dan Minton, well and truly sweating at this point. Let's look over that rear wing, and yes, look at that. Absolutely flying past. Virches hammers past him. Great effort by him.
Lap 24 incident between cars 886 and 74 under investigation.
I do apologise, I spoke over the beginning of race control there, but they are doing more investigations. And what has happened to Dan Minton's pace? What has gone on since his pit stop? Is his setup wrong? Van Coley putting in the fastest lap of the race as well now. No, but Mixic got his pace back, it would seem, absolutely hammering along. Looking at lap times as well, the last lap time from Dan Minton was a 1:30 compared to Virtue's a 1:27 and Mixic a low 1:26. So something has gone on there for Dan Minton in that Bentley, and I would not be surprised if possibly Jonic is going to be catching up with the back of him as well, if not maybe even Bellato. Sorry, Mex might come after him. Let's go to Bellato, actually, who is within 0.6 of Mex. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job of catching up with the back of him. Dan Minton definitely going the wrong way now. Dan Minton must have damage. I mean, I'm just seeing that in the group chat, in the YouTube chat, sorry. Oh, kind of a 68 off. That is Zukovic. He's not having a good day today, is he? Looking at the cameras, I can't see any damage to that car. Nothing obvious, but look at that. Jonic hammering up behind him. I wonder what's happened. I really wonder what's happened with that car. Oh, Bullion in the car number 58, putting in the fastest lap of the race now. Currently running in 7th. Dan Minton sweating, I imagine. Here we go. Is there going to be a move? Not quite. Jonic stuck behind him for a little bit longer. Yeah, it just looks like he's got no power. And there we go. Up the inside into Surtees and through the Honda goes. I wouldn't even really say that Minton is defending particularly hard. There are a couple of people coming in, people saying looks like wet tyres or maybe trying to save fuel. I'd say if he's already trying to save fuel with 20 minutes of the race left, he'd almost be better off maybe dipping in for a quick splash of fuel and then carrying on again. Trying to carry on at this point at the pace he's going is not looking good at all. So we can just see him with his back straight. The car doesn't look unsettled, it just seems super lackluster in a straight line. Jamie Noble now putting in the fastest lap of the race. Coming up behind Greening. So Greening shouldn't put up too much of a fight here. It's not a battle for class position. So the recovery drive from Noble continues, and he's gaining on the back of this AM driver very quickly. It can get a bit dicey. When you're much quicker than the car in front, it can get a bit dicey because you're sort of desperate to get past, but you catch them in all the wrong places. Is he going to get the move done here at Clark Curve? I don't think so, but if he carries on his ears, I imagine he's going to go for a big old move into Paddock Hill Bend. Not able to. Are we going to see something here at Druids? Oh, Virtues has caught up with the front of Mixage, so we're going to cut over to this one. Virtues on an absolute flying run at the moment. And where is Virtues? He is in 6th place, so only 6 points behind Mixage in the points as well in the overall championship. So that could be a decent position. This is not just for position in class, but also for position in the championship. Half a second between them. And two of the best sounding and personally looking cars in the championship now, battling it out. So the gap's still about half a second between them. Noble's got past Greening now and already pulled away by about half a second. So Bullion will be thinking to himself about how long is it going to take Noble to catch him. Let's have a look at their lap times actually. Bullion doing 125.9 or 125.6 last time, and Noble doing a 125.3. So 0.3 of a second faster, but obviously that may have been slightly affected by passing back markers as well. Sorry, and making moves to position, sorry. So it'll be interesting to see if Noble gets himself into some clean air, how hard he can push. But Virtue's within half a second of our leader. Still not quite able to do anything. Bellato still within... Oh no, actually this is Bellato coming up on Dan Minton, isn't it? So what can Bellato do? Well, Dan Minton now a second up on his last lap time.
This is race control. Car number 886 gets a 15-second time penalty for causing a collision with car 74 on lap 24, turn 5. The race control now investigates incident between cars 268 and 886 on lap 26, turn 9.
So, all heating up. Oh, that's a good point. Where is Mex? Mex down in 18th place. What happened to Mex? And he's picked up a 15-second penalty. So somewhere while we were keeping an eye on the other battles, Mex has suddenly disappeared. He was right near the front at one point. Oh, look at this actually. We've got Bullion making a real charge on Bellato. And while this is going on, Dan Minton able to escape. Dan Minton putting in a much better time now with a 125.1. So maybe that was a setup issue. Maybe it was just taking a bit longer to get his tyres up to temp. But he's suddenly found his pace again. So let's see what happens. As we said before, the Bentley takes a little bit longer to get his tyres switched on. It's happened once, it can happen again. Virtues on a charge. And we've got back markers in front, car number 42. And that is the car of Venter, who is the next back marker to pass. So Otto Winkler, let's jump down on board with Otto Winkler. Currently running in 12th place overall, 4th place in AM class. He is chasing after the back of Robson, who is subsequently chasing after the back of car number 447 of Tom Zetic. So these guys kind of... Oh, hang on, no, am I looking at that right? Yes, I am looking at it right. Just clicked the wrong button. Like a fool, like a foolish fool. Oh, that powerful pole is also heating up. I'm having to cut back and forth between them. I don't want to miss a pass for the lead if I can avoid it. But these guys, that battle for second place in class is absolutely neck and neck. All lapping super consistently. Ooh, bit of a move there by Robson, I think. Oh, and a big dive up the inside there from Otto Winkler. Great move. He saw that Robson was busy trying to battle with Tom Zetic. And that left the door open, and he immediately dived up the inside. Great move by him, absolutely fantastic. But Robson does not look like he is finished, and he is going on the attack once more. Otto Winkler, good move by him, read that beautifully. That is the difference between hot lap speed and race craft. You can be a slightly slower driver, but if you can read how people drive, you can make some amazing, amazing moves where it counts. Apologies about that little moment of silence, just had to close the window as it's just suddenly started raining and it was pouring in my window. So although it is lovely and far and dry out for us on track, it's still only saying fast. It has yet to go optimum. With 22 cars out on the circuit, you would expect it to be able to go optimum by the end of the race, just over 13.5 minutes left. Ooh, let's cut back to our lead battle, because they are now just under 0.2 between them. And this is the part of the circuit where the Audi is strong on this back section with this bit of a straighter run. So we could see a move coming up. Let's go to Miksic and look back over that rear wing. Just see that pink Audi reeling him in, sniffing at the back end of that car. Oh, a little bit of a mistake possibly from Miksic. Managed to recover from it though. Verchez absolutely on the ragged edge. Car looked a little bit squirrely coming out of Sterling's though. Who's best on the brakes here? Nothing between these guys. Absolutely neck and neck. Absolutely going for it. So Miksic in the not Pirate Racing. Oh, and the Audi looks up the inside. Are we going to see a move here into braking? Yes, we are. Doesn't get it done though. Dips back down. Are we going to see a move here at Druids? Quite possibly. No. Again, the Porsche holding off the charging Audi. But the Audi is definitely looking like the faster car here. It's really looking like the much, much quicker car. Dan Minton, let's keep an eye on his times. He's actually now putting the fastest lap on it, so he hasn't put in the fast lap, but a 1:24.9 on his last lap. So is his setup starting to switch back on again? He's got a big catch up. He's got 5 seconds between him and Jonic. So getting, oh, hang on, what happened there? We missed something. There's been a mistake, I think, from Verchez. He's dropped back quite considerably. What was fractions of seconds is now 1.3. So the gap has opened back up for these guys, so let's swap to the closest battle we have. Who have we got? Who is squabbling? To be honest, no one currently at this moment. Let's go with Jamie Noble on the recovery drive of a lifetime, up into 7th place. And he's got a big old gap between him and Bullion though, but he is last time round he was a second a lap quicker than Bullion. But their fastest laps are very, very similar. So, going to be a case of, can Bullion maintain his kind of pace? Bullion's about to come across the lines. We'll get an idea of what his lap time was. 1:24.8. Great effort by him. Amazing drive. And what have we got from Noble this time round? A 1:24.7. It's fractionally faster, but not enough to make any real difference. Verchez back within a second of our leader again, though. In the Black-Pink Motorsports Audi. Just under 10.5 minutes left of the race. More than enough time for moves to be made. Well, it's looking like Bellato and Bullion are starting to get back together a little bit. That gap looks like it's closed down fairly. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, look at this. Bellato now going to be starting to battle off the back of Bullion. Bullion on a real charge, closing up that gap. Can he possibly hold on to this position, though? No change at the front yet. And the BMW of Bullion still really pushing after the back of that Lexus. Bit of a mistake there into turn 1, though. Slightly unsettled the car. Let's jump on board with the old helicam. I should really start calling it the Goodyear blimp, because the Goodyear blimp is so cool. And wicked to see it all around the UK this season as well. So, something if anyone wants to let me know in chats. I'm a big fan of the helicams, and oh, there we go. Mitsic really pushing hard, makes a mistake. Verchez still pushing forward. Less than 0.4 between them now. This battle still heating up. I think there's even less of a gap once the timing board jiggles itself. I think we're going to see that gap even lower. That gap looks tiny. Actually, Verchez really now on the back of the Porsche. I thought we were going to see a little move into Clark then. We didn't. So up towards turn 1 again. Sitting in the toe, going for that position. Nothing to be done there. Well, people can let me know in the YouTube chat. Obviously, if they watch any real-world racing, and I again get cut off by Miksic, going a little bit wide on the exit, and Verch is trying to go up the inside. Is he going to get a better run here? Yeah, Miksic makes a mistake. He goes out onto the grass. This is possibly going up the inside into Surtees. Yeah, the Audi's there. They're giving each other room. Oh, Miksic squeezing.
This is the race control. Car number 886 gets a 5 second for failing to slow down under yellow flag conditions on lap 26, turn 80.
So that was Mex. So yeah, obviously got caught up in some sort of incident there, and that's why he's dropped back. So every time I try and bring up the conversation of camera angles in real life, this battle keeps heating up, but I'm going to persist. So please let me know in the YouTube chat how you feel about drone shots on coverage of racing. I personally am not a big fan. They only ever tend to be able to cover one corner, and obviously they can only follow one car through, and then they have to reset themselves, get back to sort of their position, and then chase after another car.
This is race control. Car number 68 gets a drive-through for causing a collision with car number 2, lap 25, turn 8.
Oh, so Zakovic's season ender is not looking good for him at all. Someone else on a charge here, though. Dan Minton again on the charge, now catching up with the back of Jonic. So we're trying to keep an eye on two very close battles. Oh, and it's a possible good run. Looks up the outside. I think we're going to possibly see a move here from Verches around the outside. No. Can he get the switch back? Not there. He's not going to be able to. And in the background, you can see this very similar battle going on. Miksic just holding on to pole position. Verches will now be desperate to get past. He's lapping faster. He needs to get past before Dan Minton or Jonic catches up with them. And while these two are squabbling, that gap is coming down significantly. Less than 2 seconds between them. At this point, only 0.6 between Jonic and Dan Minton as well. So it's not just one car coming, it's two. Are we going to see a move here into turn 1? Don't think so. Check with Dan Minton though. Is he going to do anything? No. The Honda goes super deep and off. Yep, there was a mistake. That was the mistake. That's not what he would have wanted. Here you go, end of the straight. You can see the Honda nearly goes straight on. Just outbrakes himself, and off goes Jonic, giving up third place to Dan Minton. And Dan Minton is now a man possessed, a man released, able to charge forward. And that will not be what Verches wanted to see. He would have wanted someone else between him and Minton. So with less than 5 minutes left of the race to go, Can Miksic defend? Can Virtues go on the attack? Or can Dan Minton show up to spoil the party and take 2 positions at once? And looking actually now like Jonic having a bit of a struggle to get himself back up to speed as well. Bellato starting to come up on the back of him. No. Just over 4 minutes left. Oh no, it's okay. I was about to say, it's looking like it's going to rain in the future, but not during the race, I don't think. Having a little look, some guys have retired. Car number 85 and number 68 have retired to the pits. Obviously, I think Zukovic was having a bit of a bad time out there today, and has obviously decided to pack it in and has just retired to the pits. Oh, did Virtues outbrake himself slightly? I think he may have. And look, Dan Minton all over the back of them. Like a seagull on a pack of chips at the seaside. He is swarming in, looming just out of obvious eyesight. Oh, that's a good run by car number 806 of Virtues. Can he do something? He's got to make a move. He's tried a couple of things. I think he's tried to go around the outside here once before, but it looks like he's got his nose in front this time. Yes, he does. Does he get it turned in? He does get it turned in. Just in time as well, because now Dan Minton is here. Less than half a second between him and Miksic now. Miksic really feeling the pressure. He'll be desperate to hang on to second place. 3 minutes left. That's best part of 2 laps, maybe. They might squeeze in 3. I don't think so. I think it's going to be 2. So Virtues now trying to make a little bit of a pull away. Miksic is now under attack from Dan Minton. We saw it early on in the race as well. The position can go, and is it going to go here? No, not into turn 1, it's not. Such different cars. Rear engine, rear wheel drive versus front engine, rear wheel drive. Just 2 totally different looking cars as well, like the Porsche. Basically a purpose-built race machine, and the Bentley is essentially a converted GT cruiser. Sticking with the lead battle, with the clock winding down to 2 minutes. It's now optimum as well, so the cars will feel completely different again now. They'll be able to get better grip. Virtue's already starting to pull away. Virtue's going for that win. It's going to be a decent finish for him if he can. I know, I imagine Virtues will be hoping that Dan Minton can get past Miksic, as Miksic is within his grasp of Virtues. And this will be the best finish for Virtues. Oh no, wait, he's already had a pole position, so he's already finished first once. Can he do it again? Can he get 2 before the end of the season? Miksic would have really wanted this. It would have been his first pole. He's had a second already. He'll be happy with another second, I imagine. And yes, they're now coming up onto their final lap of the race. So all coming down to this. Oh, Dan Minton looks around the outside. Can't get it done there, though. Oh, but I think a little bit of a mistake there from Miksic. Door is open. Dan Minton up the inside. Yes, there he goes, squeezing through. So the final lap of the race, essentially, I believe it's that. I always forget how this game works. It seems to change every time I actually commentate on it. I'm sure this is going to be their last lap. The clock's going to strike 0 before they get there, but Virtues is going to be desperate to try and hang on to the position. So these guys have broken up a little bit. Robson down in 11th place overall, within half a second of Winkler. So this is the battle for second place in amateur class, or AM class. Calling them amateurs just seems so offensive because they're such good drivers. Such good drivers, putting in absolutely fantastic laps. Going to stick with Virtues for a minute because he's got Dan Minton all over the back of him. The clock counting down now. 7 seconds left to go, and Dan Minton might actually make a move down here into the final turn. Let's not say that's not going to happen. So that's it. That is the timer's gone to 0. Is this the final run to the line, or has he got one more lap to go? That's it. The checker flag is out. And Virches wins it. Dan Minton in second, Mixic third. Really well battled out, all these guys. They have been squabbling the entire race up and down the order. Absolutely fantastic effort from these guys. Great race from Virches. So let's have a jump back down to 8th place, which is Greening, bringing in the pole position in AM class with 1 corner left to go. And a reasonable lead as well. I think he's got this one in the bag. Across the line he comes, confirming 8th place in the AM class. I mean, so 1st place in AM class, 8th place overall. Really great. 2 of our AM drivers finishing inside the top 10. Overall, that's a really good effort. Otto Winkler here. Oh, actually still squabbling it out, isn't he? With Robson. Oh, nearly a move there, but Winkler closing it off, getting his car in just the right spot. And gets the move done. Great drive by him. Fantastic effort. And that's pretty much everyone over the line now. Absolutely fantastic. They have done brilliantly all night long. Right, let's see if anyone's in the ready for interview box yet. Not yet. They are not quite there. So, Virches, pole, Dan Minton second, Bellato 4th. Oh, the cars are already leaving the server pretty quickly. Okay, so who do we have here? Someone ready for an interview. We will just quickly go to a slightly quieter bit of the game. Let's go to the pre. There we go. We'll stay up in this view and we'll bring in. Here we go. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, I can.
Let's hang on 1 second. I'm just going to turn your volume up just a tad. There we go. Much better. Let us know who you are, because that's definitely not a name I've seen in game this evening.
Well, I started on pole.
Oh, it's hello. Didn't go brilliantly for you, did it? Noble. It was no. Yes, it is Noble, isn't it? Yes, Noble. Sorry,
yeah.
I always get my names slightly confused when I'm looking at my names and numbers. So, talk us through it. Come on.
Well, I started on wets, and everybody else started dries.
Yes. Was that a tactical decision, hoping it was going to rain, or a mistake?
No, I just thought it was wetter than it was.
Okay, yeah.
It was just a mistake.
It was damp, wasn't it? So, yeah, didn't quite go as well as you might have hoped, but still a really good
recovery, though.
Yeah, amazing recovery. To be fair, like we sort of were cutting back and forth between sort of the normal race coverage and then getting a little look in. Oh, sorry, I just want to quickly cut to car number 901. If it will let me. Why can't I cut to 901? Let me see my little man. He's for whatever reason, it won't let me go to car number 901, who is our lovely little banana car out there. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Come on. It's being lame. Apologies. I wanted to get hang on, we can do it. There it is. 901. We've got it. We've got them in here. Apologies for cutting you off in that conversation, but always got to try and get the safety car out on up on the stream for at least a second. Even if it's only just in sound, because we can't even see it at the moment, I've realised. But yeah, great recovery drive from you. Say season-wise, obviously not able to make that many appearances. Are you hoping to make a more appearance next season?
I didn't make it to that many because I was finishing university. So
that's a fair.
Hopefully, now I've finished university.
Yeah, so. I mean that's a good reason to not be able to make too many. But I say you had a 4th and 9th, and obviously then this evening it was
P7.
Yeah, P7 and the fastest lap as well. So absolutely fantastic.
I think if I was on the right tyres, it might have been a better finish.
Yeah, on the right tyres, it could have very much been a better finish. But to be fair, Virches and Minton and Mixic, those guys were really pushing hard. I'm going to have to cut the interview a little bit short because we've got an absolute pile of people waiting to come in. So thank you ever so much for joining us, mate, and hopefully a little bit better luck next season.
Yeah, hopefully. All right,
Wicked.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, dude. Virches, can you hear us?
Yes.
What a race, mate. Fantastic effort. You looked fairly racy all the way through the first half. Then after the pit stops, your car just seemed to come alive, and you had amazing pace and outpacing Mitsic, who had been a really dominant force, and got past Dan Minton, who I don't know why just didn't seem to get the car switched on. Great race, and took it all the way to the wire and just got it done near the end. Was it a setup change? Did you change something about the car in between the pit stops, or did you just have more confidence in the car later in the race?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think honestly, what maybe the others did a bit too late was make their pit stops. I think that was mostly just it, because those tires we were running on from the start, they were like 23 psi at the start because the track was still wet. So yeah, the tires basically get ruined running in those conditions, right? So as soon as I could, I was like, let's get fresh slicks on in the right pressure window, because you prepared them for the race, and let's just go. And I think having like a few laps more already on those tires before the rest stopped really helped, because mine were already switched on by the time a lot of the others came out of the pits. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Dan, because Dan looked almighty in the first stint, and also in the second stint towards the end. I was worried he was gonna get us actually.
Yeah, because it was at one point, it seemed like early in the second stint, he just seemed to have no straight line speed. It wasn't even if it was the corners. It was times where it looked like he was almost letting off the throttle on a straight. And so, the whole thing of everyone worrying, has he got the right tyres? Has he got the right fuel? We were sort of wondering it. And then suddenly out of nowhere, the car switched on and it seemed to, come back to life. And obviously he came away with a second place. But the top spot on the podium goes to you, sir, with an amazing race, to be fair. Managing to finish 0.2 in front of Minton, so he was definitely on the charge, but timings wise it just worked in your favour as well, and your pace against Mitsic was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was really fun. I felt like I had the pace for like 20 minutes or something on him, but where do you overtake on Brands Hatch, right? So
yeah, super difficult.
I was just hoping for a mistake, and like he made a few small mistakes, but that's still not enough. So it was just keeping on the pressure, and then in the end, I think he ran onto the grass a bit in like coming up to the first sort of straight at the end of sector 1. I was like, well, this is it. I'm just gonna have to brake very late now and hope for the best. And luckily, it worked out.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. I say, like, all of you guys are super competitive and super, like, gentleman racers as well. Like, no one going for any stupid moves. So at least when you decide, that's it, I'm making a move, that someone's not just going to randomly move under braking and ruin all your efforts. Yeah. But it was a great drive, great moves by you. Massive pat on the back. I'm hoping that possibly the standings might get updated while we're here, and we can find out where you finished in the championship overall. I say, because before the race you were in 6th, but that might have changed. You might have taken a position away or two, because Borovic,
I believe up to 3rd was pretty close, wasn't it? 3rd through 6th or so.
Yeah, 3rd is 69 points and 6th was 61 points yourself. So pretty close. And obviously, so hopefully they'll get updated, and then we can let you know before the end of the stream. We can go from there. I am going to cut across to one of the other drivers now. We're going to go across to Miksic, who's been waiting very patiently. So thank you ever so much for joining us. But yeah, we're going to cut across to Miksic first.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries, mate. Thank you for joining me.
Have a good one.
Cheers. Miksic, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello. It was a race of mixed fortunes for you. Brilliant start. Obviously inherited the pole straight away. Had a really good run until Dan Minton caught you. Then you got the position back, and it looked like you were going to take it to the end until Virches just came out of nowhere with a load of extra pace. And then Minton at the very last minute got that car switched on and managed to make a move. But it looked like a really dominant performance from you throughout the evening. It definitely looked like you had that Porsche well planted and by far the quickest Porsche out there this evening. How did the car feel on that sort of mixed surface this evening?
Yeah, it was amazing because we took dry tires and it was really good for the start. And after that, I had only problems with pressures because they were too high. So the whole first stint and the second stint, I had high pressure, so my tires were dying. But I don't care because that race was amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think there was pretty much, apart from the very beginning where you pulled away by a couple of seconds, it seemed like that battle was always within, a couple of points of seconds. It was so close the whole way through. And obviously a great finish for you coming in third, because you were fourth in the championship coming into this race. So a decent chunk of points for you again. I'm not sure how it's going to work out between you and Virches, because obviously he was our pole sitter. But it seemed like a really great race. I mean, you were saying obviously that your tyres were the wrong pressures. So were you really noticing a significant difference in the braking and accelerating out the corners?
It's not that, but the lap times are different. I had great traction and great grip, but the lap times were slower than Virches and than Minton.
Yeah,
that's only problem, but otherwise the car was fantastic and it was drying like I wanted it to.
Lovely to say. And if it was handling nicely, even with the incorrect tyre pressures, then that's a huge win, isn't it? So thank you ever so much for joining us here this evening in the commentary booth. We are also now going to pull in Dan Minton, who came in second place this evening. Hope to see you back with us again next championship. I think we're doing a Porsche one next, actually, as opposed to a strict GT3. But thank you ever so much for joining us, mate.
Thank you, mate. See you.
See you soon. Dan Minton, the man of multiple paces, it would seem.
There's a story behind that. How you doing, Tim?
Not too bad, not too bad. The car, it seemed like we always see the Bentley takes a little bit longer to switch on at the start of a race. But you seem to switch it on, after sort of like 5-10 minutes and go after Miksic. And obviously we saw you thunder on past. But then what happened in that second stint after the pit stops?
Well, I fueled the car for 134 lap times, like wet pace. So I didn't have enough fuel. So when I come out the pits, I'd realised I didn't have enough fuel. So I had to stick it onto map 8 and drive around until I knew I had enough fuel left. That's why I was going really slow. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I thought I'd thrown it all away.
Yeah, because we were sort of looking at it and thinking, because we suddenly saw obviously you dropping down the grid, and we wondered if, had there been a mistake, had you accidentally put wet tyres on when you pit, because it can happen. It's a bit of a clunky pit system. Yeah, everyone's done it at some point.
Yeah.
And then it was only when we really noticed that you were really losing pace in the straight lines. I think it was actually Dakuza who wasn't racing this evening. He actually commented saying that he thought you were on the ultimate fuel save, and to be fair, it worked. It worked.
Right,
yeah. I mean,
luckily my brother Tom was on the my engineer tonight, and he was calculating stuff. And then as soon as it got to he knew what I could finish, I just whacked onto map 1 and then started going for it. So, but it was a great race. Like racing against Matej. I mean, he's one of the best drivers I've ever raced against. It's like real racing against Miksic. It's amazing. That's why I come racing, just to have nice clean battles with everyone. It just makes it more enjoyable. It's just amazing, great racing.
Yeah, we were saying earlier on of how sort of competitive you all are and how close you are, especially like you guys sort of within that sort of top 5 throughout the race. But just how much sort of like gentleman racers you all are as well. How clean you kept it, but not boring. You were still battling out for position. You're still making moves. We saw some great moves into turn 1. I think there was one by you that was a good old dive on the brakes, but it wasn't a dive bomb. It was a calculated move, and everyone seems to be aware of what's going on, and everyone knows the drivers. You all know each other
Yeah,
enough.
exactly. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you've smashed the championship. You came into this race leading the championship with 93 points, and obviously coming away this evening with it was, for some reason I've lost all my timings. It was second place you came overall this evening. So pretty sure you've maintained first place in the championship. So that's the pro category that you've had all sewn up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a shame Dakusa couldn't be here, so that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah,
obviously he was second in the championship, so yeah, but yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you, so what's around you. So
he was in the chat. He was cheering you all on. He was giving you all. He was the one that actually guessed that you'd got your fueling wrong. So he was in the chat, in the YouTube chat.
What he's talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, I must admit, like, I've been online sim racing since 2000, I think late 2004, and this is the first championship I've ever won.
Oh, really?
It's taken me a long time.
Well, and it's been a very close battle as well. It hasn't been it hasn't been a case of join a community that's much slower. You've definitely earned your win. It has to be said.
No, there's mega quick drivers, and obviously if Philippe Boverick gets back in a Porsche, or, I think we'll all have to start chasing him again. But we'll see.
Well, who knows next season? Well, there actually is the Porsche Cup coming up. With ISDA. Yeah. So we'll have to see what he's like in the Cup car.
I doubt he'll be absolutely rapid.
Yeah, I think if you can drive one of the Porsches, you can drive all the Porsches, can't you?
Exactly.
But I mean, massive congratulations, obviously, on the second place this evening, and a massive, even bigger congratulations on the overall championship win. Thank you for joining us in the commentary booth. I've got one more person to drag in, so I've got to ask you to be on your way, I'm afraid, and get the last man in. So just
nice one. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Thank you for joining me.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
Jonjic, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hello. Sorry, I know you were waiting a long time in the interview room there. I just had to get the three guys in from the front of the. I can't get my words out. I'm suddenly just broken. How did your race go for you this evening? I've lost all of my positioning, so I'm not sure. I can't even remember where you finished now. I do apologise. It's all suddenly disappeared from me.
Yeah, even before the race, I was thinking, should I race or not? Because I practiced like 1 hour in the wet before the race, because I had so much stuff to do this week. So I don't know. I made some wet setup, and quali went fine. Race in the first stint, when the track was greasy, it was doing pretty good. Honda was pretty good, but in second stint, I wasn't that much on the pace, like, for example, Dan Minter, who was on another level. And I want to congratulate him for that. For this race. Crazy pace from the guy.
Yeah, and do you want to know an amazing fact? I've literally just finished an interview with him. He miscalculated his fuel. He'd only worked out fuel for a wet race, so that sort of laps of about 134, 135. So as soon as he was then in the dry lapping much quicker, they're basically like 10 seconds a lap quicker, isn't it, when it's in the dry? He realised he had nowhere near enough fuel, and for a lot of the second stint was driving around on fuel map 8 just so he could make it. And then his brother, who was his spotter this evening, basically, sort of gave him a pat on the shoulder and said, go back to full speed again.
Yeah, I thought he put the wets on, and but after I realized he was fuel saving. But the thing is, to fuel save and to come back again and fight for the win, that is like another level. So really great pace from the Bentley.
Yeah, he did really well out there this evening. I say all of you guys did really great. Another great, clean and tight battles all throughout the grid. It was just fantastic to watch the whole way through. But yeah, it has to be said that drive was fairly epic. I'm trying to think, was that? Oh, no, it was your second best finish this evening, wasn't it? I was just looking. Came into this race 9th in the championship. They haven't been updated yet, so and my maths is nowhere near good enough to begin trying to work out how they've all been changed and swapped around. Oh no, they've come in. Literally while we're here, I can tell you everyone's position. So you could join me in celebrating Dan Minton with 114 points, first in the championship. Virches second place. Mixic third. Niall Bullion in fourth. Dakuza drops down to fifth, obviously unable to join us this evening. Bellato in sixth. Borovic in seventh. And one position gain for you in the top 10, position 8th for you, Jonic. Oh, yeah, I need to ask, is it Jonic or Joncic?
No, it is Jonic. Like
It's
you
soft.
said.
It is a soft J. Yeah, I do apologise.
Yeah.
It's obviously yeah.
No, it's great.
I usually get it right after a while, but sometimes I make the mistake. So then Aidan Doyle in 9th position and Mex in 10th in the Pro Championship. So inside the top 10, great effort, mate. For how close this entire sort of season has been. That's a great effort to be inside there. I'm just going to quickly run through the AM class as well. Sean Buck with 130 points. Brings home the win in AM class. Otto Winkler, 99 points in second place. Neil Greening with 86 points in third. D. Doyle in fourth place. Paul Venter in fifth. Wilfred Robson in sixth. Anthony Wilson in seventh. Ton Zetic in eighth. Concoli in ninth place. And the top 10, rounding it out, is Lee Bullion in 10th position. So it's great driving all throughout the evening and throughout the entire season. And I mean, even looking at how close the finishes have been for you guys, 62 points for you and Filip Borovic. I think the only reason he's only in front is because he obviously had 2 first places, which I think that's how the system works. If you're
equal. Like 4 or 5 different winners, I think.
Not sure. I'm trying to look now. We've had in a pro class, you had Dan Minton won at Zolder, Virches won at Donington, and obviously again this evening. I'm just trying to have a little look now through everyone. Who is this? Borovic at Paul Ricard and at Suzuka. And obviously you won at Kailami. Great track. Great. I love Kailami. It's so good. Amazing efforts and a great season all season long from everyone involved. I've got, who else have I got? I've got the race control guys waiting to come into the booth as well. So I am going to call this interview to an end and grab those guys in. Thank you ever so much for joining us in the booth, though, mate, and a great finish for you this evening.
Thank you very much to all of you guys.
Thank you very much, mate. Right, going to drag the boys in. Race control, can you hear us?
Yes, this is race control.
It's the one time of the night where it's not scary for the drivers to be able to hear this voice.
Yes.
Some.
I don't think they're scared ever. I don't like if anyone is scared here, then we're not doing a good job.
No, I don't mean actually scared, but if they've been involved in an incident, when they hear your voice booming into their headphones, they're probably thinking, "Oh, was that my fault?" Depending on what's happened. But again, they shouldn't be scared if they haven't done anything too wrong.
Exactly.
We saw some pretty big penalties out this evening. A couple of drive-through penalties, at least, being put in. I think that's the biggest penalty I've ever seen you guys put out, is a drive-through penalty for causing a collisions. There were incidents that we didn't actually catch on screen, I don't believe. Was that sort of a case of they were exceptional incidents? Obviously, the last race of the season, people can get a little bit overexcited.
No, not necessarily. There were some, most of them were due to some stupid mistakes, I would say, that happen to everyone. It's more because of responsibility than the intention to kill someone on track. So, yeah, I mean, we are not afraid of putting out drive-throughs, and definitely we put some harsher penalties, including stop and goes, race bans, even the season bans. Luckily, this time no season bans. So everyone behaved very, very nicely.
Yeah, it looked like the entire race this evening. I said, especially towards the front, the guys battling it out there. That sort of that top 5, essentially, all traded positions at some point, absolutely squabbling and going, but super close, super competitive, but super clean. And again, we just spoke with Dan Minton a moment ago, and he said that's the entire reason he joined ISDA, is looking for nice, clean racing, and that is great. It's always nice to see. And speaking of nice, clean racing, Mally, do you want to give a bit of a promo for the upcoming season?
Yeah, first of all, I have to say what I just told the guys when we were in the ready for the interview box. I told Valentine and Dan, why couldn't you let Mate win? He would have been 6th different race winner in the 7 races, but yeah, just no luck for him, I guess. And maybe those tires are gone. I don't know what happened to him. So this season it was super competitive, and on the top steps it was also super clean. I have to say congrats to everyone. Now, for the next season, we have an upcoming Porsche Cup season with the newest DLC. 5 races, 5 very demanding tracks. No traction control, let's not forget, and some tracks that are that definitely require you to have traction control. So, um, if you're interested, join our Discord. Head off to our dashboard to sign up. It's starting in 2 weeks' time, so June 9th. And I think we're in for a very cool season.
Yeah, I mean, those Porsches are great cars to drive. I mean, I can't drive them very well, but they're very cool. And the competitive racing that comes from driving pretty much identical cars, the racing that comes from that is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, as Mally said, join the Discord. It should all be in the description. And come and have some nice clean racing. There's a nice mixture of guys here. You know, they're not all complete aliens, so there's always a nice mixture. You should have someone on your pace to have some nice battles with on track.
Absolutely. And of course, I have to say thanks to everyone involved behind the scenes, especially the race control team. I mean, these guys watched all of the races this season. They helped me as the race director, and Andre, who was a replacement race director for me. Uh, they helped us maintain very high standards here. Not a lot of drivers were happy with our results of our investigations, especially the penalties that can seem a bit harsh for newcomers. But in the end, we saw the result. Tonight, we saw the result. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago when we had an absolutely clean race, and this is why we started the whole thing. This is what we will push to promote, and I'm glad that it's getting even more recognition among the drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely gaining a lot of respect inside the sim racing world, I would say. I want to have a quick shout out to Arthur, who is normally my co-streamer, and he's not with us this evening. And I want a massive shout out to him. He does a lot behind the scenes for keeping the broadcast side of things running. He, always a massive help. So I want to shout out to him, and also shout out to Ike, who covered most of the beginning of the season, most of the season, simply due to the fact that I was moving house. So massive shout out to him as well. I think we're gonna call it a day on the stream now. It's way past my bedtime. It's probably way past all the races' bedtimes, and they all want to go and enjoy their champagne for winning. Thank you ever so much for joining us again. This is the end of the season, but obviously, as Mally said, check back in with us very soon. Do you say June 9th?
Yep.
Yeah, June 9th.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now for the Porsche Cup Series. And it'll be a great one. It'll be absolutely fantastic. So thank you for joining us. And obviously a massive shout out to our sponsors, Sim Racing Pro. Thank you ever so much for sponsoring us again this season.